My name is Sylvie, and this is my article that I wrote for the Career. It is just about my journey growing up with horses. So, yeah! The earliest memory I put in the story was my first ride with Drifter, and so in the story it was my grandmother leading me down one of our hay fields. I had this bright blue helmet, and I was like spooked. I was like, there's no way. And Drifter is 17 hands, so that's really tall for a horse. That was like the first memory of riding. But before that, it was like my job to feed them, so I would say that was my first memory. Out of all of my friends, also being horse girls, I had the biggest horse. So Drifter was just this huge ranch horse. Looking at him, you would think he's gentle, of course, but there's just like the fact that he was also my great-grandfather's ranch horse, which is kind of like, oh, you're really gonna let your kid ride a ranch horse? Like, you wouldn't start her on a pony? So I got on the big horse, and yeah, definitely, I think it was a massive confidence booster. And then also getting used to like falling off of a big horse too. It's like, I didn't get hurt. Yeah, so it was just a massive confidence booster during my childhood, so. I am a 5th generation cattle rancher on the Harpur Ranch, so it actually began with my great-great-grandfather, and then it was my great-grandfather who was very much of a horseman. Literally, like, the whole community knows him. And then my grandmother, when she came into our family, like, she took that up as well. It was just like, it felt nice to reintroduce the horses as like someone younger and to keep that alive in our family. And I'm hoping when my brother and his fiance have kids that, you know, it will continue. And I think it will, because my sister-in-law is super gung-ho about horses, so. So I think this is about all animals, but you know, with humans, like people, you need that spoken connection. But when it comes to animals, there's like, you can communicate with just actions and like you can totally feel their energy. Learning how to read that kind of energy also helped me learn how to read people's energy without having to speak. Like, communication verbally is super important, but I think communication non-verbally is just as important. So I guess just being around all animals in general, whether that was my dogs, cows, or horses, it was just I kind of learned how to read their energy, yeah. So horses in particular, they're very much more sensitive. Because I work a lot with cows as well, they're more stubborn. Horses, they're really nitpicky, like they will care right away. You can see it in their ears. If the ears come back and you know like, oh, stop what you're doing, this horse is really angry. And then when they're chill, like when they like you can see it, they'll like rest their head up against you and stuff. And yes, I would say they do. Drifter when my great-grandfather was a bit old, he probably went almost 4 years without anybody riding him. As soon as I kind of got on him, I think he definitely realized, oh, this is my job now. You know, my purpose is now to take care of this young kid and make sure she's safe and, you know, learn the ropes. And yeah, he was the nicest guy, like, pile my friends onto him and stuff, and yeah, he was great. I got Stella when she was 2, and so you usually start riding them when they're between 3 and 4. Stella was like, it was really hard for me, like at the beginning, because it was really humbling too. Like, you would do so great, you would have so much progress, you know, you would be like 2 rides in, and it's just like, Stella's like this perfect horse, you're like, she's broke, she's perfect, and then, you know, the next day she's bucking you off, and it's just not a good look. I don't know, it taught me how that it's like, I get humbled a lot, and like, you can rebound from that, and it taught me how to ask for help, too, like, for sure, because I did need quite a bit of help with Stella. So for a while there, I was riding Cody and Roach with my friend. We would ride like 4 days a week kind of thing. Just like having that as like, oh, we would do that after school. Like, it was our after school activities. We do it like every weekend. We had this privilege of going to have animals and like working with animals. So I definitely think that helped in the future as I am now. Seeing how my life compares to others here, it's very, very different, and I'm very grateful for where I came from. By being a horse girl, I think it definitely contributed to my confidence overall, and just like, I feel very comfortable in my body, and I think that is due to having like all of these opportunities with animals and horses especially. Horses kind of teach you like, it's just, yeah, horses kind of teach you it's okay to like make mistakes, and it's okay to be who you are kind of thing, because horses, they definitely don't care. They don't have that social anxiety aspect. So they're happy little guys. I don't know, yeah. It's been like, I'm very grateful to be out here, but I do like, after 4 months, you really are like really wanting to go back home. And it's just thinking that I'm like, oh, my brother's riding my horse. That's great. I want to ride my horse, you know? I am happy he's riding her though, but I'm definitely like, as soon as I go back home, I'm gonna like hang out with my cows and my horses and stuff, so. You would think like being away from Stella for 4 months, you wouldn't have, like there would be like she wouldn't be as familiar with me, but the thing is when I go back, it's like, click, oh, she's back kind of thing, right? There's not really a big difference of me being away for 4 months versus me seeing her every day. I think, like I like to think that she misses me. When I was a kid, my whole goal was like, I'm gonna be a cattle rancher, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then it was literally in grade 12, I was like, ooh, I kind of am into the arts, and I feel like that's kind of where I belong more in a sense. So I definitely did get a bit torn, but it's like torn in the way that I look at myself differently on the ranch now. Like, I'm an art student, and I can be goofy on the ranch, and I feel very comfortable with my family. Just being able to go home, and I feel like I pop right in and I fit perfectly there. So I do feel torn, yes. But it's just like a different kind of sense. Like I feel very at home when I'm still at home, but I also feel very comfortable out in the city. So yes, it was actually my friend told me about this piece, and I was like, she's like, Sylvie, you're a horse girl, you have to write it. And I was like, ooh, I'm a horse girl, yeah, I guess. And so I love writing. That's my major here is creative writing. I was excited to write it for sure. And it was the fact that my friend that told me to write this piece, she actually visited me over the summer, and I put her on Stella, and I was like, oh, just like be comfortable, and just seeing her like trembling and being scared on top of Stella, I was like, wow, that was me like years ago. And so just seeing that as a kid, and then as watching an adult ride my horse with the same kind of fear I did as a kid, I was like, that is really something. It's very sweet to see that, because you know, just watching and seeing how far I've grown, it was kind of like I was looking at like a reflection of myself as a kid. Watching her also get like comfortable on her, I was like, wow, I can already see it like growing in her that she wants to ride my horse every year she can. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to write it. Each one of those horses kind of document like a different stage of my life. Drifter was my first horse. He was the safest horse I've had, very good to grow from. And then I got Cody, who was much more like he's a gentleman. Like he was such a gentleman. He would do anything we asked for. He was probably the horse I had most of a connection with to like grow from. And then I got Roach, and so I had Cody and Roach at the same time. And Roach, we never had like a proper connection. We were getting into fights every time I rode him. And then I got Stella. She's a 2-year-old, and I still have Stella, and she's my life, my soul. I don't know. So as a creative writer, I do hope to continue to write, because I feel like that is how I can still keep that part of my life as well. My family's legacy is very well known in our area, so I would love to expand that over and like show other people how, you know, the Harpur family is, and you know what they've done. So yeah, I hope to continue to write more about the Harpurs. Yeah. So I think just being as an adult who had the opportunity to have horses as a kid and to have them now. I feel very privileged to have had them, but I think it's just definitely helped my discovering my own identity as well. Just seeing the horse's confidence and my own confidence growing, and is still growing. Yes, I'm happy that I've had that, and yeah. I won this year. It was for my first horse competition. It was like an obstacle course, so I took my horse Stella over all of these little obstacle courses, and it's like dog agility but for horses. And so I won the in-hand event, so I was also running alongside her. And then I got third, actually, in the riding one. So, yes, it's super cool. My first ever horse event and my first ever buckle. So, yay! If you want to read more about it, pick up the Candy issue. And yeah, it's a good read.